Hey, happy Tuesday, beautiful souls, wherever you are on this phenomenal planet. It is time for Your Thinking Tuesdays, where we transform our inner experience to a phenomenal outer experience for 13 minutes of our time, of our day. We do it together. Yes. How are you? How are you? Happy Tuesday. Let me, okay, y'all, on the Instagram, I forgot my phone, so I have a new fancy tablet that I'm trying to see if it works. EJ Kane, hello, how are you? If you're new to the show, make sure you drop in the comments, say hi, say hello, shout out, give me some love, all that good stuff. Oh my goodness, can you believe we are on episode 70 of Shift Your Thinking, and I'm calling this No Sweat, No Gain. No sweat, no gain. No sweat, no gain. You can imagine what that's all about, right? No sweat, no gain. Yeah. Give me a moment. I'm actually trying to see if I can do something really cool about my tablet. And I'm so bummed because it's not working, y'all. Everyone else can start their live videos. Apparently, I'm having issues trying to start mine. Oh, let me see something. Let me see if I take it off my Wi-Fi. And then I just, let's see. See if that works. Let's see if that works. Yay! It says I'm now live. All right, Instagram fam. I know my views, you're going to be like all up in my chin because I have the tablet and I forgot my phone. But I just wanted to say I'm committed to you to make it possible so that you also catch Shift Your Thinking. And we are on episode 70 called No Sweat, No Gain. And we're continuing our series from Dean Del Sesto, Shift Your Thinking, 200 Ways to Improve Your Life, Our Life. We do together. Remember, connect, build, and share. Good thing I'm not too conscientious of the angle of this camera because my Instagram fam, you'll see what's happening all under my chin and stuff like that. It's all good. Has winter officially arrived for some of your states? Drop in the comments, say yes, nah, say yay or nah. For me, as you see, I got like turtlenecks. Turtlenecks are out. My beanie is out. I feel like it's a little cold up in here. My beanie is out. Oh my gosh, that feels really amazing. But I won't be beanie baby on y'all. But I won't do that. I've got all this energy. Oh, wait. Hold on. I've said nothing about having visited Fort Worth, Texas. Yes. Shout out to Rabe of Raw Healing Arts. Went to connect and meet with my sis to do some energy work. I am arriving my personal year. So I just want to say thank you, Rabe, for the gift that you have and what you do. I'm going to tag her in this video so that she knows that I gave her a shout out. So as I'm entering into my personal year, I'm making sure that my mind, body, and spirit is in a place and space to receive abundance, because this is the time for me. Like, I feel it, I know it, I've put in the work. Oh my gosh. how synchronistic of this topic. No sweat, no gain. I have put in the work. I have cried. Hey, y'all, Evolving Beauty, Landscape Larry, good rising to you. I have put in the work, and now it's like, okay, I'm ready to receive it. I'm ready. I'm ready in so many things. I'm ready for love. I'm ready for marriage. I'm ready for multi-million. I am ready. So that's where I'm at. I wanted to make sure that I was in a place and a space to receive that. And that comes with doing some work. That comes with doing the work. That was weird. Instagram just had like an ad in the middle of my live. Did you guys see that? Like it paused? Crazy. So as I was saying, I'm calling this episode 70, no sweat, no gain, right? Put in the work. What you see now, I shared, and Antoine Lowry, Landscape Lowry, Antoine and I connected, and we were talking about this, like the growth that I've had, and he just connected with me. I think he said it was maybe this year or last year when I was on Evan Jefferson's show on Facebook. And shout out to Evan Jefferson and ATL, the whole ATL fam. I'll be in ATL, y'all. I'm coming this week. One of the guest speakers at the We Buy Black convention. So really excited about that. So as I was sharing the work, like I have like over 300 something videos on my YouTube channel. I have over 100 something videos now, my podcast channel, and counting. Like what you see today has been me putting the work, me converting the business, the relationships that come from that has been putting in the work. What I'm getting ready to launch for December has been because I've been putting in the work. And I continue to put in the work. I actually have canceled all meetings and new negotiations, like partnerships and stuff like that for this month because I'm working on 2 books and a school. Like when I say school, I'm launching an online youth curriculum, our online youth real estate curriculum. So I feel like I went on a tangent, but I did not go on a tangent because it's called No Sweat, No Gain. So let's jump right in. If you're following along, you're really going to enjoy this. I'm in the section that says, when inspiration turns to perspiration, get ready for some aviation. Sounds like we're getting ready to take off, right? I love this. Let me read that again. I tell you, this author, he's like a rapping author. When inspiration turns to perspiration, get ready for some aviation. No sweat, no gain is what I'm calling it. And I'm going to do some logistics real quick, but I'm going to get into this. So the author says there's often regret. I'm so tongue-tied this morning. Oh my gosh. There's often regret when there's not enough sweat. There seems to be a sweeping trend that hard work is no longer necessary to thrive, let alone survive. Is this true? In a world of instant gratification, we feel like we don't have to put in the work because it is owed to us. Like all I have to do is show up. That's part of it. And even with all the cliches, affirmations and quotes that you have been reading that says, yes, all you have to do is show up. That is just not enough. That is not enough. It is not enough just to show up. It's half the battle is what they say, right? It's half the battle. And I agree that when we're working so hard and moving in our world, and there's so many obstacles and challenges, you feel like, woo, be thankful that I just showed up. Okay, but now the fun part begins, where you now have to do some selling. You now have to do some selling. And I say that, and I have to say that because a lot of us are not comfortable with sales. You are selling yourself. You are in positions where you are convincing yourself, not convincing yourself, but you are convincing others, persuade others to work with you, collaborate with you, network with you, Sales. This is what this is. This is sales. Okay, this is how I wanted to do it on the show. It's so funny because I wanted it to show up better. It's like this weird highlight, this weird banner that comes across. Good morning, Evolving Beauty. Yes. So as we talk about no sweat, no gain, he says, you know, in a world of instant gratification, we're feeling like it's owed to us, that all we have to do is just show up and that's it. Hello, in relationships, is that enough? Is that enough for you to be paired with someone and say, well, I'm here, honey, sweetheart, babe, I'm here. You just better be grateful that I'm here. Is that true? Is that true? And if you just joined in on Instagram, my camera's normally set up top, but I forgot my phone. My phone is at home apparently, but I brought my tablet and I actually can shoot from my tablet. This is so cool. So you've got this weird angle where you're looking at me right now because I have it propped up. Anyway, maybe, he says, the author says, maybe all the industrial and technological advancements that make life easier have convinced us by now that easier, air quotes, for those listening on the radio podcast, thank you, air quotes in the word easier, around the word easier, should have somehow found its way into our DNA. But it hasn't. He says the human condition mandates that when it comes to making anything easier, faster, and better, it will require that humans step up to the plate and engage in serious work. Yes. And let me say this. I just have to say this. Hello, Special One. Let me just say this about when we're talking about showing up and work, because I personally don't like this movement of hustle and grind where there's no sleep. That's freaking crazy. Are you kidding me? You cannot operate, your brain cannot operate at optimum capacity if you are not properly resting your body. Schedule the times where you're going to be creative. Schedule the times where you're going to look for self. And I have to say that because even though I'm working on these books, I'm not like constantly writing this book. Someone had asked me, you know, how do you write the book? You know, how much time? Where do you time block? And, you know, do I suffer from writer's block? Here's how I answered that. Here's how I answer that. I don't write unless I feel it, unless I move to do that, unless my spirit is saying now write. So I say that because yesterday, even though I just returned from Texas and had an amazing trip, I scheduled some time with myself again. I did come into the office. It was Veterans Day, and shout out to those who have served and protected and continue to serve and protect us. I want to honor that and thank you for that. Even though yesterday was a day off for most people, I used that time to come in and work to the office. There were things that I had to set up as I get ready for the campaign and the marketing and launch. But I also scheduled time, a date for myself. I went to the movies. I went to see a movie that I wanted to see. I didn't even get to see when it came out in release. I had to find a theater that was showing it. And I was so happy that I scheduled time to do that. So as we're talking about no sweat, no gain, I actually want to time out and make sure that that message doesn't get confused with no sleep. It's absurd, you guys. You better be sleeping. Get your minimum 6 to 7, 8 hours, whatever it is that your body says it needs. For me, 6 hours. I used to, when I was younger, I could sleep for like 12 hours. True. This is true. Facts. I could sleep for like 12 hours straight. Now it's 6 hours because I'm in a very creative state. I'm driven. I'm ambitious. What I am learning is when to shut it off. So I have to force myself to go to sleep. When to shut it off and tell my brain it can wait for tomorrow. I'm not missing out. Sometimes, force myself to close the books. I'm reading a couple great books right now, forcing myself to say, hey, get to it tomorrow. So as we continue, he says, this is how innovation comes alive. He says, and I'm pretty certain that there's no shortage of innovations in the world today, just a shortage of those willing to sweat to make them become real. And that's what distinguishes you. And I don't use the word separate. I don't like to use the word separate. I like to use the word distinguish. This is what distinguishes you from everyone else. Are you waking up in the morning to do the workout? Are you waking up in the morning to do the meditation? Are you waking up in the morning to have the quiet time? Are you waking up in the morning to plan your day, to do your to-do? Whereas, I'm going to quote Jim Rohn, he says, when you start planning for tomorrow is when the day ends. When you start planning for next week is when the week ends. When you start planning for next month is when the month ends. Do it the night before. That way, you have it planted in you of what you're going to do next. That way, you're not a leaf in the wind and you're operating, excuse me, got a frog in my throat. That way, you're not operating in a place, in a space of, where did he go, George? What do I do next? And then people are taking over your day. True? Right? When we have our to-dos planned out, and a lot of people say to me, oh my gosh, Lisa, you know, you're so busy. I don't like the word busy, by the way. I like to consider myself productive because you could be busy doing a whole bunch of nothing. You could be busy checking social media. You could be busy doing nothing, y'all. All right, as we get ready to wrap this up, because we're approaching 13 minutes, to clear my throat. As we get ready to wrap this up, take the time, spend the time, but put in the work. No sweat, no gain. That's what we're talking about. But also, I want to be mindful, and I want to use this opportunity to not misconstrue no sleep, that hustle grind. Come on, your spirit having a human experience. This vessel, this body is what you came in here in this lifetime. You owe it to yourself to take care of it. Talking to myself, what I share to you, trust me, I go back and listen to the replays too, because I take notes. I take notes for myself. This is what personal development is. This is how we improve. He says, unfortunately, things like fear, comfort, and skepticism, there it is. Unfortunately, things like fear, comfort, and skepticism get in the way of these ideas ever gaining traction, right? This is true. We're blocking ourselves. And in this entitlement age, he says, the more we embrace the concept that the world owes us, the more we will become enslaved through debt and will end up owing the world. Let me say this as we talk about the entitlement age. And I have to be careful. I'm like debunking stuff right now because there's so many things when we talk about hustle and grind, people equate that with no sleep. That's not true, right? Those who are optimizing their sleep are the ones that are most productive. And as we talk about entitlement age, let's not tie that in with millennials, because there are those of you who are feeling instant gratification because you're so used to having it now. This is not exclusive to a generation. This applies to everyone in this era who has wearable technology. How many of you got the fancy little phone, little clock, little watch? Wearables. How many of you have wearables? You're like glasses now that have cameras. At every time, you have Alexa, you got Siri, my computer has Cortana. You have all this technology that is answering for you and giving to you, that is responding to you at an instant notice. When you're interacting with other human beings, that is not the case. Well, let me say this again. When you are interacting with other human beings, it is not going to be the case where you will get what you want when you want it, Lisa. Lisa, I have to remind myself because I run a business and, I sometimes I submit an offer, I want a response now. I want it accepted now, right? Or when I receive an offer, I want it now. So being in an entitlement age is not exclusive to a generation, but applies to every single one of us who has wearable technology and technology that is responding to us. He says it's tragic, but most people will never put into practice the ideas they dream about because they believe that not working has more value, and that provision will always be just around the corner. He says, consider that the days of provision are numbered. It's true that putting ideas into action is mentally, physically, and emotionally exhausting, and it is, which is why I talked about optimizing your sleep, because I'm speaking to myself. I have massive ideas that I know right now is revolutionizing how we learn, when we learn. Right now, I'm teaching 10-year-olds real estate that 3 years ago I was told is not possible. And today, that is exactly what I do. I'm teaching grades 4th and 5th, and now we have just been accepted or sought out into another elementary school that is grades K through 8. Massive ideas coming through, massive downloads. You think that I need to be in a space physically, emotionally, and mentally, spiritually, to be receiving that, to be giving that, which is why I took this weekend to do a clearing, to remove any subconscious blocks that I have, because all the trauma that I have experienced, all the tragedies that I experienced, I'm still working through those triggers. And I say, do the work. No sweat, no gain. You can't get to the next level. You can't get to the next level. You can't vibrate and magnetize that partner, that amazing partner that you want to love and adore you, if you're not in that space to receive that. If you're not in that space to recognize the triggers that you may have that might trigger someone else. That's why I said, now that I've done the work and I continue to do the work, I am ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. I'm ready to receive. And I'm not going to define that right now. Why? Because I don't want to put a cap on what greater than me has in store for me, what divinity has in store for me. If I say I'm ready to receive X amount, and divine source says, but I had so much more planned for you. Just be in that space to receive. I am ready to receive. You already know that's going to be the call to action for this week. I am ready to receive. No sweat, no gain, but you have to put in the work. And the work is not just the physical, the emotional work. Yes, you've been hurt. Yes, we've been broken. Do the inner work. Because guess what? When you level up, that's called the law of resonance, where people in that vibration can actually feel it, and you can be equally matched. For those of you who are spiritual and looking for your equally yoked, I like to say that relationships are like credit reports. They're like your FICO score. The people you are in relationship with at this present time is a reflection of your personal FICO score. It is a reflection of who you are at this state in time. Because I know, point in fact, 12 years ago, when I look at the relationship that I was in then, there's no way I would allow myself to be in a relationship now that I was in back then. When I was in a relationship with my money years ago, there's no way I would allow myself to be in that same relationship with my money now. Emotionally, I'm learning boundaries because I'm such a giver that I'm learning that it's okay to say no and not to explain myself. I'm learning those boundaries. I'm learning not to be so loyal to my own detriment. How many of you have experienced loyalty to your own detriment? Me. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, y'all. I'm going in, but thank you for connecting with me, connecting, building, and sharing on all social media at LA Super Agent. Thank you for tuning in on the radio podcast, by the way. I love you guys. We're doing amazing things and growing the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all your subscriptions, likes, and comments. The author says, however, if people realize that complacency is more painful, if people realize that complacency is more painful than the commitment to put some sweat into their ideas, we'd have a much healthier, happier, and more productive world individually and collectively. Hey, Chad Stone. Chad Stone chimes in right when I talk about healthier, right? You're all about health. And you talk about inner work, no sweat, no gain. You can't get those results if you don't put in the work. But let me say this, you can be healthy physically, but you can be so unhealthy spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Take the time to do the inner work so that you can raise your vibration, increase the law of magnetism, heighten your law of resonance. If all of this goes over your head, that's okay. That's okay right now. Come back to episode 70 when you awaken to that space and place in your mind, in your heart mind. I'll be waiting. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a powerful and productive week. Be sure to connect, build, and share with me on all social media at LASUPERAGENT. You guys, say it for this week. I'm ready to receive. Do the inner work so that the outer work can truly matter. It means nothing. You can have all these millions in the world, but if you inside isn't right, doesn't matter. All right, y'all, that's my time. I'll see you next week for episode 71 on Shift Your Thinking. Love y'all. I like this track. I'm loving this one.